It's October 13th, the year is 2015, Anno Domini. We are in Visoko, Bosnia and Herzegovina. My name is Dr. Osmanagich. I'm running the Bosnian Pyramid project. And now with me today is our friend Gerald from Germany. So Gerald, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, what should I say? I was interested all my life in things that are very unusual. May it be pyramids, may it be UFOs, all this kind of field was in a great interest of me, and so this is why I came and to see the pyramid here now. And my life was basically one-time businessman, on the other side studying all these things for maybe 30 years, and that gave me the possibility to see actually more of the world, but to more of all the esoteric and spiritual background of these places. And so I get drawn to people that do this, and through all these times I developed some sensitivity and some understanding about all these energies around pyramids or sacred places. And yeah, many times I can give one or other comment to make it clearer what's going on in places like this. Yeah, this is all what I can say about it.
Gerald, you have never been in Bosnia before.
Never.
This is your first time at the pyramid site.
Yeah.
Now, I spoke to you a couple of weeks back in Munich, and while talking to you, I realized that you are a man who can see the human aura, bioenergy field, and see the human chakras, the physical chakras. At that time we did not discuss the spiritual chakras and the different colors.
Yes.
And based on that you were able to see if the energy flow was just right, or there are some potential obstacles and problems.
Yes, I can see that, and this is a very difficult field because you have to have some experience around there. Actually, this came to me while I was doing a lot of spiritual work, and suddenly this opened in me like a gate. And then I started to study the backgrounds too about all these things, about the human organs that are involved in all these processes, and that way I got a pretty good idea about the whole situation, about chakras, about energy, the energy flow in people or certain objects even, or a tree or whatever.
Tell me, what is the aura for you? How does it look like? How do you see it or sense it?
It is very difficult to explain what I'm seeing because there's more involved. It goes with the eyes in this case. I can see a field around whatever, a body, and it has a certain vibrational quality, and this certain vibrational quality can be transferred into colors. So I see whatever, I see a blue color like around you, I see the blue color again, and then you can go into that and I can basically start checking through all these things about the energy field that has the qualities that I can see after that. I can see the energy field. Then I go crisscross with the knowledge that I have. So I get into analyzing the whole thing, and therefore I get the result. It is very difficult to explain that process, but it is possible, and I know that it is not something that is unusual to human beings. It is just because we have forgotten it, all of us.
So, for example, for our viewers, so they can get a better picture.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the aura and take me as an example.
Okay.
Tell me, what do you see as far as the dimensions and colors?
I can see, when I look at you, I can see the blue aura field, and it's pretty wide. I think it extends about 5-6 meters. And
is it all blue? Is it all blue? All 5-6 meters?
It's not all blue, like whatever, like a shining blue. This is very difficult to explain, but it is a blue vibration. Call it a blue vibration. And then in this blue vibration, I can check out certain things, to find out whatever happens there, what the energies you have. So for example, if you have a bad thought for a moment, or you have this bad thought for a longer time, I see it, because the aura changes. It is nothing that is like a tree that doesn't move if there's no wind.
What is blue in general?
Blue is just...
What does it represent?
Here comes my experience in. Normally blue means that this is already a higher vibration, but don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that the person that is carrying a certain color is less than the other one. It is just his energy. Blue means it is rather goes to the tendency of the upper body. So the upper body is the dominant energy that creates this aura field. So rather the head and the throat and the third eye connecting the pineal, these things, which means that now here comes the experience that somebody who is around with stuff like that, the way he lives, like you live, has rather a spiritual orientation, plus it is more a mindful orientation. And then when I get into that, I can get in contact basically not only with your aura, but with your, let's say, Merkaba. And this tells me what kind of a person you are. So you can see the aura.
How do you see Merkaba?
That can't be seen that way. It is rather what I feel. The Merkaba I never saw of a person, actually, never. I can't see it, I don't know what it is, but I know that there is a kind of energy that is around a person that can be read in some way. Yeah? It carries information, and it carries all the information of your life and of other lifetimes. So getting into, let's say, a sensitive track on all that through the aura fields of people, you get into that too, sooner or later. And this is what I can say to that. We can go and sit down for 2 hours and then we start to track other lives from you. Maybe with the pyramid here in the background, that you've been here, working on it, doing something or whatever, being the protector of it one day. Who knows? I don't know, but we can find out if we are deep into that. But it needs time. So when coming back to the aura field, I can see through the chakra system of a person then. I can see if that person is balanced or unbalanced. Most people do not tend to have the same energies that are, let's say, after the book supposed to be there. That doesn't mean they are bad people, it just means that they are not as balanced as a person who has the colors in the place they should be, which are written down in all the old books from India, from all these places around the world. And therefore you can see, if you have a balanced person, if this person tends to be a liar or not. So if this person is authentic, you can see too.
Let's discuss the balance in my case.
Okay.
How do you feel the balance?
We talked about that 3 weeks ago or so. And I can say you are one of the most balanced persons I ever looked at, which is very interesting to me. And this is one of the one of the reasons why I opened up so much to you, because many times I'm not doing that because I feel already that I get in trouble or anything happens to me. So I rather stay with that, and therefore I'm here now with you and talk about these things. And so the balance that you have is basically very good. it is very difficult to say that now. We can talk about an hour or so about all your energies and what is connected with that. I just say in general that what I saw at that time in the evening, it is still there, so it did not change very much with you, and all the chakras show the same energy vibrations like that time, which means that this is a constant feat of you and a constant feature of you. Let's call it like that. And that means that you can never be a liar in concern of things like that with that pyramid here, where I can feel the vibration when I get closer, like a pulse. I told you that it is really pulsating, like a sine wave. And probably with you being around these places and having the right attitude, going to these places and working with them, that creates this kind of field around you. And this kind of energy, which basically influences your DNA so that your DNA becomes more efficient and then stabilizes you again. So this is an interaction between your intent and what is going around you. So this is how I interpret it. Because I really do not know a lot of people that have that. When I look at people that work in a bank or something, they have a totally different energy around them. Totally different.
Like what?
Many people have red aura fields, orange aura fields, which means not, you have to understand, not that they are less people, but they have a lower vibration. So red means mostly in their case they are exhausted, they are fighting for their life, they are in a survival mode. The other ones, they are just simply servants working in a servant mode, and this is what causes this energy, because this energy is around them, and this energy is basically their life.
Now, when you walk down the street, you meet people.
Yeah.
You automatically see their auras,
I can see.
or you kind of
I can see because
exclude yourself.
Yes, I can see, but I don't do that, because when I get into that for a long time, yes,
you make a filter.
I get, it's like it's like sitting here in the middle of the highway, and 500 cars going by all the time.
Yes.
Back and forth, everyone with a different frequency, and this gets you totally crazy, and this is not meant to be. Especially in a time that we have right now, where all those vibrations are kind of fluctuating in the people because they are in distress. So you have all these lower vibrations coming out, and all those that are normally balancing that and calming people down, like the green from the heart chakra. You hardly see anybody who has a green heart chakra. Hardly. Sometimes you can see them, then they are half, let's say, funny-wise, half yellow and then green, because they do maybe some healing work or stuff like that, But they are still into that energy.
For some people you are a dangerous man to have around. A lot of people claiming today they can do healing, they can do this, they can see. Then you go there and you know exactly who you deal with.
Okay, yes, it's right. That's funny.
One more
for
question.
Me, many times this is very funny. I can tell you one little example. I was on a place for like 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago on the weekend, and there was a lady, she was saying she was doing a healing session, and there was 3 friends of mine there.
Yes.
I was coming too late. I was in the background and I was not taking part in that because I had a strange feeling about it.
Okay.
So I was sitting there and the friends were sitting in front of me. So I know my friends from before and when they were sitting there, what the energy fields were. So one was purple, but I know that he is now in transition, he's changing his life. His girlfriend had a green aura field, what was really interesting, and she told me later that a lot of stuff is healing in her now. This is a healing color. And the other guy, he had been treated with a special device of a friend of mine, and he was blue. And this comes from that device, you know.
Right.
So I was watching them while the healing session was going on. And normally when a healing session is going on and something transforms into people, and I had to do some work with other people on other places, watching that, you can see right there something in the aura feature, something. Nothing was changing, not at all. Yeah. So I knew
No improvement.
nothing.
Let me ask you this. Can you see the aura in animals?
Yes.
Now let's take, for example, Sunny. He's our...
This is funny.
He's
He's got
our-
your aura field. It's blue.
here's my aura field.
Yeah, because he's all the time with you.
Yeah.
This is why animals take over the energy of the person. This is why animals, when they are really close to people, get sick, because sometimes they take even over the sickness, not always, but sometimes, and then they get sick and the person stays healthy. I had this happening to a friend of mine. The cat got sick with the same issue she would have got, I know.
Yeah.
So, and the
Now-
dog will be blue, and next time when you get really angry for for an hour, the dog starts turning red.
Okay, now
funny,
let's
yeah.
do this. I'm gonna invite him
Yeah.
here. I'm gonna kiss him. I'm gonna
Yeah.
show him emotional
Yeah.
love, and let's see if you're gonna see any change in his aura.
let's try.
Sunny, dodge, Sunny, Sunny, dodge, dodge. That's it. Sit. Good.
Well, what you can see is right from the chest where the heart is, there's an energy. I can see.
Energy, communication.
Yeah, communicating with your heart. I've never seen that before because I never tested it, but it's there. I cannot prove it to everybody who is listening or looking at it, but
And what else?
this is what I see.
But then what else? Any changes in the... So there is a communication of the energy?
Yes, there is a heart-to-heart communication. So this is what I could see right there. And you could see it even in the body language of the dog. Did you see that? He was going like this. So the energy came out.
Wonderful. This is wonderful. As a matter of fact, you are the prototype of a man of the future.
Somehow, maybe.
At
yeah.
one point,
Yeah.
obviously, the ancients were developing those spiritual senses. That's
Yes.
how I would call them.
Yeah.
We have our 5 physical senses, but then every physical sense has its counterpart on spiritual level.
Yeah.
Plus, we have some additional
Yeah.
spiritual senses. We can
Yeah.
all see much more.
Of course.
We can all
Yeah.
we can all hear much more instead of very limited range from 10 hertz to
Yeah.
20 kilohertz.
Yeah.
We could really hear the ultrasound.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
hear the infrasound.
Yeah.
Just we don't develop those
Yeah.
techniques. We don't develop those
Yeah.
spiritual senses. The ancients, when building pyramids, concentration of stone balls, megalithic sites, very powerful energy places.
Yeah.
They were so beneficial, they were based to develop
Yeah.
our spiritual senses.
Yeah.
So those places were the field schools of the past.
Yes,
Instead
they are.
of educational system that we have, which basically limit.
They are.
First of all, what we do, we ridicule
Yeah.
everyone or
Yeah.
anyone with spiritual
Yeah.
gifts.
Yeah.
And then plus, they limit our physical senses
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
So instead, we need to go another route.
course.
So imagine, every one of us has a message for each other. I
Yeah.
have a message for you,
Yeah.
you have a message
Yeah.
for me. The same thing, every person that crosses our
Yeah.
path has a message for us.
And
But
this
because
exchange
some-
happens in subconscious way, still it is there, but it is not really well developed. Nobody is conscious about it.
Exactly.
So whatever, you know.
Sometimes we are shy,
Yeah.
we don't approach person, we have
Yeah.
an urge,
Yeah.
but we are too shy, we
Yeah.
don't go there.
Yeah.
Or, instead, imagine this, I come to you, you come to me,
Yeah.
we face each other, I
Yeah.
see your aura,
Yeah.
I see your information you have
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
you see mine,
Yeah.
they are tend to be yours.
Yeah.
So that's why the communication goes on very silent
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
If we need to communicate, we use telepathy,
Yeah.
we use the aura. So,
Yeah.
and then once we got the full message, then we move on. So we lose so much every day because we are not getting messages from
Yes.
the other people.
Of course.
So instead of becoming so
Yeah.
much richer,
Yeah.
we live the life which is so poor in
Yeah.
every sense.
Like I said, I took that example from the people in the banks because in my business stuff, I had to do a lot with these people. And I could see one day, I was with a colleague there, with an architect who was working with me, and I was talking to the bank guy, and I told the architect later, this guy has a heart problem. He's getting a big problem with his heart. Half a year later, the guy had a heart attack. And you can see the field of the heart of this person, that it's getting really red and other energies coming, you know, and then you can see that this person is totally exhausted and totally at the end of his limit, closing his heart all the time. And this is what our society produces, all these people.
Exactly.
They are destroying the
But
planet.
then,
This is crazy.
now, imagine the society of the future. We can all see other people's aura.
Yeah,
That will be society with no lies.
of course.
Because in our society, you can tell whatever
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
People believe you or
Yeah.
not believe you. So
Yeah.
if you tell untruths,
Yes.
and then it will be society with no violence because you know exactly who's going to be violent towards you. This is a
Yeah.
society which is really based on a very positive foundation.
Yes.
That should be our society.
And this is what I'm working for, because I'm one of these people that got, through luck, chance, and some heritage maybe from my grandmas and my mother and so on, some abilities that have been basically given through the generations, from one generation to the other one, and I was the lucky one to get maybe that now evolving. That's what was happening. And therefore I can do a lot of things that others can do. I can do healing work because I can see the fields, or I can even do the energy work on a person without seeing it. I just use my intuition. I had a case 2 weeks ago. One of my friend's girlfriend, she was really sick. She had a throat like this. She could hardly talk. And I said, hey girl, come sit down here. I'm gonna help you. 15 minutes of energy work on her in the way I do it, and it was all gone. She was sitting there, couldn't believe it. She was talking to me like normal, and it was gone ever since. For 10 days, a swollen throat.
What did you do? You helped her balance the
Yes.
energy flow?
Yes, I basically stimulated her immune system.
How do you do that? With your energy or with your thoughts?
This is very difficult to explain in front of a camera. Maybe we have to talk about that, and then we can maybe bring it into a form that can be produced for a camera, because there's two ways to do that. There's a transfer of energy always. I can meanwhile transfer the energy from here to here, or from here to somewheres.
Right.
In the beginning, my intuition showed me that I was holding my hands there with the people only with intuition. So somebody has maybe a problem with the neck. So let's say that. It's just an example. I make that up now. But I do not go to the neck. Some intuition draws me to whatever, to the pelvis or to the feet. And then I start working there, and suddenly you can see the feet or some part of the body kind of, making movements for a moment. And then I go further and I see another movement. And then the person gets up and the problem is gone.
Oh.
It is just a question too, and that's the most important thing. I really have to put an emphasis on this. How open is that person? It is not the question of the work when you can do it. Everybody can do it. The question is, how far is that person open? How many issues has that person? How much karma is in that person that needs to be first balanced to completely get rid of a disease or a problem or whatever you will call it in him or in her. And so that's the most important thing about that. Yeah? In other case, it might be a little bit more difficult.
Right.
Let's say somebody 70 years old having heart problems all his or her life or something, and then you work on these people. Sometimes when they are completely ready, it will go like this. Other times it will take talks, it will take other energy work confrontation.
To get through all these layers.
Yeah, to get rid of the top of that stuff. It's like with your pyramid, you can't see it as long as the dirt is not gone. Same thing. A total interaction between people. And that's the most important thing about it, that this interaction can flourish, that can expand, because with every healing a person does, the healer gets, even the healer and the healer become one. So the healer gets healed too, gets more into balance with that. So that is what is actually the most important thing. If you have the benevolent idea acting in this way, and the other person has the same attitude, you get a perfect connection. Yeah? Other than that, I know a lot of people that would lay down on the back, and they say, okay, heal me. That doesn't work, You have to do your homework yourself too. And if the person is open, it'll work right there.
All right. Gerald, you are visiting Bosnia for the first time. We are in the front of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. It's approximately 4 to 5 kilometers from the northern face of the pyramid. It's a little bit misty, it was cloudy earlier, but then I think that shape we can see. And now let's see what you can feel besides what you can see.
What I can feel about it is what I said to you before when I was closer coming into town.
Yes.
I could feel a pulse coming down. If you call it coming down, it just came from this structure. And I could feel that pulse on the right side of my body because we were driving in that way. That was the interesting thing about it. And the second thing I was feeling was that it somehow hit my thyroid. Not in a bad way, but I know from energy work that when something like that happens, something heals because there was something missing before.
So what you're saying, the pyramid was communicating with you?
Well, I don't know
in
if you can call it as a communication, but the energy was coming like a sine wave out of the pyramid. And it's probably all the time like that. I don't know. I've not been here all the time. I'm here for a couple hours now. So I do not really know what is going on. But we will see. I think this kind of energy is pulsating all the time. This is what I believe right now. I think this pyramid is alive. Many pyramids I've visited are not. They are just a stone structure. If they are sometime alive or not, I do not know. Yeah? But here you can really feel that there is something, some field coming from this place.
Do you see anything, going up or off the pyramid or sideways? Or can you see? Now it's getting a little bit clearer.
But the problem is the mist here, because this gives reflections in what I cannot really see clearly, but what I can tell you is there is like a golden pulse, like a sun in the middle.
Sun in the middle?
Yeah. It's like a sun. It's a golden energy.
What is golden
right
energy?
Here.
How do you describe golden energy?
Well, gold is normally something with power. Gold has the vibration of eternity. This is why gold is actually that important. It's not because it's a value and people with their consciousness now think this is worth a lot of money. It's not worth a lot of money as long as you don't do anything with it. And because of that, it's a superconductor. And because of its vibrational qualities that can be activated to certain devices, gold has a very, very strong effect on not only the human body, but on the atmosphere too. So for example, if you look at our atmosphere and whatever is done to it, it could be healed in a lot of ways with a golden energy. Whatever gold it might be. This is just what I think about. Yeah? So all that metal dust and whatever is sprayed around, that'll kill the planet, but the gold will heal the planet. And these basics around gold go way back into history, a history that we do not remember. But here I can feel basically in the center a golden, powerful energy. And if you ask me where it should be, where I can feel it, it is right there. When you look over my finger, right there.
In the middle?
Right there in the middle.
What I've learned in the last 10 years, every time I drive, using this highway, I see the pyramid, something, warm comes around my heart, around my body. I look at it, it seems to me there is a two-way communication on the subconscious level.
Talks to your DNA?
Yes, I know a lot of people who feel the same thing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, people who are so-called skeptics, who don't even want to consider the possibility that pyramid is here, who don't want to look at the perfect geometry or orientation or whatever, they simply turn their heads, to the other side. Everything is the energy, our planet is the energy, our bodies are the energy, and I think the pyramids are very ancient and very powerful energies in this case, and energies do communicate. There is a form of communication, so sometimes they are even on a surface level. I know sometimes when I have to come to this position to show the pyramid to groups or people who I care, what happens, the pyramid is covered in clouds and mist, and then I simply communicate with her. I'm calling her her. I ask her to remove the clouds. 10 minutes later, the clouds are gone. It has happened to me really many times. A couple of 3 minutes ago, when you mentioned that you were having problem with the mist, I was asking her to kind of clear the mist, to open up a little bit more, so you can see more.
The golden energy. And what I can see now is a purple or violet energy going up from the whole structure. Up.
Which would be?
Transformation, healing.
Purple.
Yeah.
Can you sense or see any form of communication? The field waves coming this way or going from here that way?
Maybe. I have to go a little bit. There is maybe something going to you. It seems to me, which is a very interesting thing, that you're getting a golden spot on your heart center from the pyramid to you.
The one to the left, running parallel, is what we call the pyramid of love.
This one?
Yeah, just to the left.
To the left, that one, yeah?
The sun pyramid.
Yeah.
And to the left, there's the moon pyramid. Is it too far to see anything? Or?
This actually gives an impression of a real golden, yellowish golden color. Not like this one. This is maybe, I don't know, maybe I can tell you in the end of my visit here, but this one is maybe the device that is the center device to work with it, with consciousness, communicating with consciousness, and the other ones respond to that. For whatever reason and with whatever connection there is, I can tell you right now. I have to be in there much more and let my inner brain work on that for a while. Because what I see sometimes comes out later and then I can reflect it better. But this has a golden, real golden, yellow, golden color. That is very different, yeah?
The love pyramid.
Yeah. That is very different.
All right, thank you. Thanks a lot.